About a year ago, I made a video about how Persona ascended to becoming a life-changing franchise, and majority of those testimonies in that video centered around their love for the Phantom Thieves and being able to spend so much time with them. Now imagine being able to carry that experience with you wherever you go. That's exactly what Persona 5 The Phantom X is looking to offer. This is the series' first free-to-play game, bringing the rich storytelling and stylish gameplay that all of the fans grew to love to mobile and PC. Now it sounds like the perfect combo, accessibility without sacrificing depth, but just how close does it come to capturing that magic that we all are looking for? In this video, I'm going to be breaking it all down, from the new characters and gameplay mechanics to the free-to-play structure, and just how well does it hold up for a hardcore JRPG fan. Now a big thank you to Sega for sponsoring today's video. In case you didn't know, Persona 5 The Phantom X is out now. And yes, you can get it completely free to play on Steam, Google Play, and the Apple App Store. The game brings back a ton of fan favorite features from Persona 5, like social simulation elements, after school activities, and that slick strategic turn-based combat that we all fell in love with. Now, even though this video is sponsored, I'm not limited in what I can and cannot say about the game, and everything going forward is going to be my 100% honest take. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's see how the Phantom X stacks up and whether it's worthy of stealing your heart. P5X is going to be set in the same world as Persona 5, but it's going to follow a different cast of Phantom Thieves with entirely new personas. I'm about to finish the first palace, and so far the main cast includes Wonder, the protagonist, alongside Cattle and Closer. Now the story also takes a different angle from the original Persona 5. In P5, your mission was to steal the hearts of corrupted adults and reform society, but in P5X, desires are mysteriously disappearing from the world, and it's going to be up to you to figure out why and restore them. Now, aside from the main story, there are also going to be plenty of side missions for you to dive into, and some of them are actually even going to feature the original cast from Persona 5. Now, here's my take so far on the new original storyline. I was given access to an early build, and I was able to play up until the end of the first palace, and then I've also played almost to that same exact point on the live version. So hey, I'm a lot of hours in, I'm deeply invested so far. But here are my thoughts. While P5X Story does take a lot of brand equity from P5, I feel like it's doing it in the right way to tell another captivating story while still delivering the same quality when it comes to voice acting, cutscenes, and writing. Like, let's be for real, this is still a Persona game, and from what I've seen so far, it's more of what we love when it comes to thought-provoking themes. Without any major spoilers, very early on, you're going to be diving into how you view your self-worth, which I feel like is a massive, thought-provoking topic, and also finding the desires in life to just live. The first palace opens up with a guy going around, it's not funny, but there's a guy going around just shoulder checking women at the subway station, and diving into the psychology of why playing through that first palace really was a treat. This man really was a menace, and he needs to be stopped. But I feel like we're gonna still have to invest some time into the new cast, but if we let them cook, I see a ton of potential. With the subject being humanity's desires and motivation being stolen away, combined with Atlas's pen, I can see this story getting very interesting very quickly. That's my take on the story, so now let's go ahead and dive into combat as well as some of the other features. Let's start with the combat system. So you're going to be able to build a party of 4, with the 5th acting as an assist, and think of this more of kind of like the navigator role. And you can save presets of party with different combinations of characters and synergies with teams that you like. We can see here that there are different perks that you're going to get for pairing different characters together, so it definitely heavily emphasizes building out a team that has synergy with one another. So when you get into battle, you're going to have a few different options. You're going to have the ability to use your persona, and each different character is going to be locked with their persona outside of Wonder, the protagonist. He's going to have the ability to swap between personas. You have your melee weapon, your persona, your gun, and then there's also going to be a baton pass if you're able to exploit enemy weaknesses. And so we can see that it's going to have different animations for different things that you do, and these are going to be for all of the different Phantom Thieves that you have on your team. They're going to have their own unique animations, flashy combat style. I'm going to just go ahead and do a baton pass and then put this on auto to talk. So you're going to be able to speed it up, whether you want to be 2x speed, 1x speed, or 3x speed, whichever you want to do or your preference. I'm going to put this on 1x speed, but when it comes to the combat, you're able to manually control it, which is likely what you're going to have to do for some of the harder bosses. And then auto is going to be for some of the kind of dailies that you run to get the mats, which we're going to discuss a little bit later. But I'm going to speed it up so that way we can see kind of some of the animations. So this is the animation of our navigator, and she's going to be giving an assist to the team as well as giving us different buffs so that way we can dish out more damage. Here you can see that there are still the same exact flashy animations that we know and love. And each character is going to have a unique, cool, flashy cutscene like that for their ability. And so far, they all have looked immaculate. Here's another one of those animations for another one of my party member doing his ability. And this is going to give us all a buff. And then similar, if you exploit all of the enemy weaknesses, you're also going to be able to perform an all-out attack. So if we hop in here, we're going to be able to take a look at the characters, and team building is going to be essential when it comes to building out a solid, strong party to clear the content. And each character is going to have different elements along with a different persona with its strengths and weaknesses. And some of these are going to be characters that are exclusive to P5X. But as we get down here to some of the 5 stars, you're going to see some of the characters from the original cast of Persona 5. Now, when it comes to enhancing the characters or making a character stronger, that's where things are going to vary. So here, we're able to train the Phantom Thief, and we're able to level him up. And then if we get dupes, we're able to get special abilities to utilize with those dupes that we get from the banner pulls, which we're going to talk about later. We're also able to equip different weapons and level those weapons up. And then we can level up their persona's abilities to give them stronger multipliers or different buffs. Now, when it comes to character progression for the main character, that's where things are going to differ because he is able to change different personas. So we have the Velvet Room, and here we're able to do persona fusions where we're able to use different seals, and these seals I believe are farmable to fuse to make different personas. We also have like our notebook of all the different personas we have in our inventory that are available for us to use. And then we have the persona training. So this is going to be for the main character Wonders progression, and you're going to be able to level up any of the personas that you find by, you know, recruiting them in of a palace or from pulling it on the banners to your party. And you can equip up to 3 when you get to level 30 on Wonder. And each different persona is going to be able to be leveled up and ranked up from rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3 to rank 4. It just depends on which persona you're trying to invest in. One thing I forgot to mention is that when it comes to the fusions, you also can expect the skill inheritance that we got with P5 to still be available in P5X. We can also hit the city if we want to enhance and level up our social stats, and we have this grid where we can invest in our charm, knowledge, guts, proficiency, and kindness. And you're going to be able to do those by playing games at home, studying at the library, or watching a movie in Shibuya. On that left side, you're going to get different actions that you can use per day, and as you use those actions, you're going to be able to invest in your social stats. So this is kind of how the game stops you from just going super hard and just doing everything in one day. It limits you by your actions remaining. So if you wanted to grab a burger or work at the store, that's going to cost you an action, whether it be in the daytime or the nighttime. Now, when it comes to Persona, it's always about the drip. And now, depending on what you got going on, you know, you kind of just got to hop in some attire to match. You got to get swagged out. And oh my God, there's so many options just for different types of, like, there's sets. You can customize it by tops or by bottoms. Let's just go to sets. So I can do different sets. Some are going to be unlocked through different in-game things that you can do, or the cash shop, which we'll talk about later on in the video. But there are just so many different options of ways that you can customize it and looks that you can take. And if you don't like any of the presets, you can hop in there. Yo, I want this top right here. Get bottoms. Oh, I want these pants. Like, you really can get in here and customize out your protagonists however you want them. And that's just for some casual attire. If you want some loungewear, there's an entirely different set for that. I think one of the sets, yeah, this little panda outfit. But when it comes to customization, there's a decent bit to make you feel unique and kind of invest in different accessories. And like I said, you got to have a different fit for every occasion, and you can save those as presets. And so, hey, we just happen to be a rich person. We just happen to be rich in this game, so might as well take advantage of that, living in this nice big old fancy house. And then on top of that, we also have the map of the different locations that we can go for some of the social simulation side of things, different outings, or meeting up with friends. Check your text. I mentioned earlier that there are going to be side missions that you can do in addition to the main quest, and some of these side missions are going to have interactions with the original cast of P5. So you can do this, it's going to tell you where you need to go, fast travel there, and you're going to be able to begin that journey with the side quest. So the main story can get a little bit serious, you know, with Desire and everything, but I feel like just kind of lounging around, getting to know the different characters in the cast is something that we all really appreciate, and you're able to do that here. We can see that this side mission is going to be involving Lufel, and I can go through this storyline in Shibuya to do something with cattle. In that same light, we have different synergies. I believe these are kind of like the social links where you're going to be able to bond with different characters, and the more that you bond with them, the more synergy abilities you're going to get in different ranks. The higher you go, the bigger the ability. So think of this more like the social link side of things. There are several more than these three, but you can see at the top right, you're going to have to do different side missions to unlock the social links, which kind of encourages you to, you know, explore more than just the main story. So that way you can invest in the bonds with these characters, whether that be for their abilities or just diving into more lore and backstory with this new cast. Next up, we have the metaverse, and this is what you're going to do to spend your stamina. So you have your active palace at the top, the realm of repression, and this is going to be where you can farm different materials, whether that be for leveling up your weapon, leveling up your character, or you can even farm copies of the different personas so that way you can use them in fusions. But you're going to have your stamina daily, and you're going to probably be draining that on getting the different resources to power up your character. You also have the Velvet Trials, and you can think of these as really kind of like time attacks, where you beat this boss within, you know, X amount of turns, doing X amount of weaknesses with no enemies being KO'd. And these are going to progress up further and further, getting more and more difficult. So that way you can kind of challenge yourself when it comes to building your party out correctly to 3-star all of these missions. All of these are going to give you different types of rewards. And then I haven't yet unlocked this game mode or Nightmares Gateway, so that is a good bit away. Next is going to be the Thieves Den. And this is pretty much like your own little cave to customize however you want, putting different, you know, collectibles or things that you get while playing the game in here to kind of pimp out your space. And then back here, we can see there are different posters that you can hang up for just kind of doing and achieving different tasks. You're going to be able to do a lot of things here, like just set the music and really just set the ambiance of how you want your Thieves Den to be. Lastly, let's talk about the contracts, which are going to be the different banners. So when you start out, you have the newcomer banner, which is going to be 5 pulls, and it's going to guarantee you a 5-star from one of these 3 Phantom Thieves. We have Joker's banner that's going to be running for the next 27 days with him having a rate up. We have the weapons banner, which I really like because you're able to come in here and choose which one you want to have a rate up by picking your 3 dream weapons. And so we can sit here and pick one, and I'm probably going to pick whichever 5-star that I get from the beginner's banner. And then we can kind of essentially choose which ones we want to have the rate up, and you get a guaranteed 5-star at 70 pulls. And then lastly, down here, we have, I believe this is just the general banner with all the characters in here that you can pull from. Oh, you get the select? I think Morgana was the one that you wanted. I didn't know you got the select. That's even crazier. I specifically was saving this for this video because I wanted to have that pull be in this video, but I got the select. So hey, that's dope. That's dope. I wish I did it earlier. So now I could come in here and, you know, choose to have Morgana's weapon be rate up. I'm going to launch this. Hey, I might get Joker. If I don't, it just won't be in the video. But here is the summoning animation for those that want to see what this looks like. Now, when it comes to ways to get the currency, there are tickets in the palace for you to pull on that banner, the beginner's banner, to get your 5-star. But you're also able to get a free 5-star selector from these 3 Phantom Thieves. Once you complete all of the steps you see on the left side, you're going to have the ability to get any of these 3 like we did with the beginner's banner. So technically, you can start with a dupe of 1 5-star, or you can start with 2 different 5-stars of your choosing to kind of build your team around. There's also a battle pass that you can get currency from by doing dailies, weeklies, and seasonal things. You can also buy the premium battle pass, or if you decide to go that route, you can just come to the shop and buy any of the different currencies that they have available. I know I said lastly, but I just remembered you can get currency from here as well. So these are different events that are going to be taking place. This event is basically going to give you 10 summoning tickets or just different types of currencies for just leveling up 10, 25, 35, 45. That's basically a 10 pull. And then we have the Trials of the Deep event, the Catch Your Eye event, which is basically going to just give you gear and different fashion items for just logging in daily. and completing other tasks. You can test out Joker if you wanted to before pulling on him. And then there's this, which is going to be a new contract that's going to start a banner for this particular character with the rate up. So I think I hit most of the main systems that P5X has to offer, at least with what I have unlocked so far. And here are my thoughts. I think this is definitely main game potential. I think the story is going to get better and better the more that they're able to tell and the further you progress within the game. I've been looking a while for another main live service game, and I feel like P5X is going to be that for me. I've enjoyed it. I've played it entirely on my Steam Deck with my controller, like it's a console game, and haven't had any issues, and I've been having a good time. And I've just been enjoying the story that they are telling. And it also helps that I get to have some of my favorite characters from the Persona franchise and customize my own little personal crew of Phantom Thieves. And then once we get into potential, like when it comes to other characters down the road, it's insane. Oh my god, if there are any Atlas collabs like Metaphor Refantasia, oh my god, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. So in my opinion, the game definitely lives up to my expectations. I'm gonna be playing it, and I know it's gonna have a healthy population for the foreseeable future with the groundwork they've laid off here with this global release. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and thank you once again Sega for sponsoring today's video. In case you didn't know, Persona 5 The Phantom X is out now. And yes, you can get it completely free to play on Steam, Google Play, and the Apple App Store. So don't just take my word for it, go download P5X and give it a try now. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.